Hi, boys and girls. We're going to talk about writing today. So this is going to be your writing lesson. You've done all kinds of research, and I know you're all very anxious to get started. So I want to review what we've done so far, and then today our goal is for you to pick your text structure and organize how you're going to do your writing before you get started, okay? So I have a few of the books here that we read in class. I was able to bring them home, so that's pretty cool. So one of the books that we read in class was Beetle Alphabet Book. Now, this is what I would call a list structure for writing. This is a reference book. Remember the three types of nonfiction. We have reference, literary nonfiction, and we have biography. Now, we're kind of staying away from biography for this assignment because we've all picked an animal. So let's go through the text structure. So this Beetle Alphabet Book, we all really enjoyed this in class. It goes through the alphabet and has really cool information and illustrations about these different animals. Some are really neat, some are kind of gross. You guys all enjoyed this dung beetle in class. Imagine that, 8-year-olds like dung. The illustrations of these beetles are really cool, but it basically finds a beetle for every letter of the alphabet and goes through them. And then I think they even found like some fillers on some pages of really cool insects. Okay, this is what I would call a list book, Beetle Alphabet Book. Let's take a look at Butterfly is Patient. This was a cool book. We enjoyed this one in class. Now, this Butterfly is Patient tells about a butterfly's life, and then it has like different headings on the pages, like a butterfly is poisonous. Do you guys remember how a butterfly gets poisonous? Tell your parents how a butterfly can get poisonous. It's pretty cool. Butterfly is spectacular. Butterfly is thirsty. It talks about it going around and pollinating and drinking nectar. Butterfly is big. Or there are these giant butterflies that can be up to 12 inches across. Butterfly is scaly. So this is what we would also call a list book structure. It's a reference book, and it goes through all these cool things that we learned about butterflies. A butterfly is not a moth, so it's listing information about butterflies. A butterfly is magical, and this was about them migrating down to Mexico. So that was the butterfly book. List text structures, listing information with subtitles. Now we're going to go into chronological. I think my camera tilted a little bit, so I don't have high-tech recording equipment, boys and girls. I'm trying the best I can. Okay, the first chronological book we're going to look at is this Look to the North, a Wolf Pup Diary. Do you remember this one? This was about the wolf puppies being born. This reminds me of Claire's puppies in her house right now. But it goes through 1 day old, 10 days old, 3 months old. I'm skipping some pages in between, but it ends up with them being 10.5 months old and how they're surviving. So this is chronological. There's a definite start, there's a definite end, and it tells you about their life. This one goes over almost a year. We read Red-Eyed Tree Frog, which this talks about a tree frog in one night. Evening comes to the rainforest. So this talks about what the tree frog does when he wakes up as dusk comes, what he likes to eat, what wants to come and eat him, what he has to do to survive, all that fun stuff. And then it ends, because it's a chronological structure, it ends with him camouflaging on a leaf. See, his red eyes are there, but then once he goes to sleep, he looks like he's just part of that leaf. So it started with evening coming to the rainforest, and it ends with as morning comes to the rainforest. So this is chronological, but it's not over a year like the wolf book. This is over one night, and it tells all about the red-eyed tree frog's life over one night. Last chronological book structure that I brought home, that I brought here to our video today, is Into the Sea. And if you remember this is about a tortoise's life. So the wolf tells us about 1 year. The red-eyed tree frog tells us about one evening. This Into the Sea tells us about the tortoise's entire life. So it talks about a baby tortoise being born on a beach. It's coming out of its shell. It makes its way to the ocean. There are animals that are trying to get it, so if it survives, it talks about its whole life in the ocean, being with different animals. Okay, we read this in class, so this was interesting. Swimming with whales, all kinds of stuff. And at the end, it talks about that tortoise making its way back to the beach where it was found, where it was born. Not where it was found, where it was born. And laying its own eggs there. Okay, and then the cycle starts over again. So this talks about the majority. I said his whole life before, but it's like the majority of his life. It's not his entire life. He's not, he's still alive at the end. So it's not his whole life. But anyway, chronological text structure. So what your job is going to be today is to decide what text structure you're going to use for your writing piece. Now, the way that we researched with our folder is list, okay? It has a title, it has subheadings, and then the information is listed. However, if you would like to, you may choose to do a chronological text structure. You can tell me about a day in the life of your animal. You can tell me about from when they're a baby to when they're older. You can tell me about, a year or so. It's up to you. That would obviously be a little more challenging, but I want to put it out there so that if you want to do that, you're going to need to take your information and reorganize it a little bit. You've already got all that information, but you're going to need to reorganize it in a way that it makes sense chronologically. You do not have to, but you can if you want to. So I'm going to attach two different documents in Google Classroom. So you're going to have a graphic organizer that says narrative journey, or story structure. So if you want to do chronological, this is the graphic organizer you're going to use. You're going to talk about what happens at the beginning of your animal's life or day or year, whatever you want to do, what happens in the middle, and what happens at the end. And this is how you'll reorganize your information, okay? I'm also going to attach this, all about or list structure. Now this matches more closely with the research we've done in class. It has your topic, and then it has all your subheadings. So this would be like physical characteristics, behavioral characteristics, habitat, diet. And we obviously researched some more than this, so you could draw some more little bubbles coming off on each side. But your job today is to decide on your structure. You can either print this out or draw it, and then I would like it if you would send me your structure in a Google document. I will put a document up on the classroom for you to submit your text structure to me. So just to wrap up, today your job, because your research is done, today your job is to choose your text structure. Either list, which is topic and then subheadings, or chronological, which is a little more of a challenge, but you're putting your information into like the beginning, the middle, and the end. And I would like this submitted on Google Docs. Okay, any questions, please reach out to me and we will go from there. Okay, bye guys.